what's up?
Hi, my name is Shannon McGrew from Creepy Kingdom.
Hi.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi. Thank you both so much for speaking with me today. I love the film. And to start things off, what was it about it that made you both want to be a part of this project?
You have more history with it because you were part of the short.
I did Caroline did a short film around the same premise that she asked me to do. At first I was like, cool, I get to wear prosthetics. No one's ever asked me to like dress up like that. But then it was a special weekend. I mean, we shot for 2 or 3 days on a tiny budget. And then Caroline and I stayed in touch, and she would share drafts with me. Anyway, the story can get too long, but after that first weekend, I always wanted to be a part of it. But also more broadly, just there's so much you get to do as an actor. I mean, the prosthetic is one thing, but also to do the humor and the romance and the heavy stuff. It's great. And Melissa has to do even more than that. She has to sing, it's a playground. It's the kind of sandbox you look for when you take a role.
Definitely. I mean, for me, this was a dream script. Everything that I love, all the kinds of movies that I love, all meshed into one. Horror, rom-coms, musicals. Like, what else could a girl ask for? I felt like this role was like written, destined for me. And I was just so lucky that Caroline somehow knew who I was and thought that I could do it and, sent me the script. Yeah.
So what was it like for you, Tommy, to wear all of those prosthetics? And then for you, Melissa, what was it like when you first saw him in all of that?
When we were doing the first round, I FaceTimed you, right?
Yes.
As the monster, which was not that monster was very green.
Yeah, it wasn't the.
We changed the color
Yeah.
and changed the hair a little bit. So I tried to introduce her to monster as early as we could in the process. It's great. It's really freeing. I mean, it's maybe a little bit of a pain in the ass in the morning, but I love the guy and his team, Dave Anderson and Johan, who had the privilege of 4 hours with me every single morning.
Oh my God.
They're very zen. Sometimes I'd listen to a book, sometimes I'd work on the script or whatever, and sometimes I'd just talk to them. I mean, it was a really kind of a nice way to start one's day. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say other than like not having to be personally vain and just put the mask on and what did we say earlier? Not go for it. Get it on.
Get it on.
Get it on.
For me personally, I love like when the first day on set when he showed up in full like monster prosthetics, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. I was very excited, and we'd already like done some rehearsing with Caroline, and we'd worked on the script. But even while we were working on the script, I kept saying to myself, like, this will be different once he has the prosthetics on. Like for me, like once I see the monster in front of me, then I know what movie I'm doing. So it was really helpful. I think in general, for me, it's really helpful when I get into the costume and the hair and makeup and I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, there she is. But this time around, it was like, there we are, like both of us. And this is a story we're telling. So it was really great. And I don't think I saw you in your Tommy face, I don't think I saw his face for the entirety of the shoot.
Yeah.
Like maybe on a couple of weekends, but like that was it.
Well, a couple of weeks after we wrapped, I saw her at dinner, and very sweetly, Melissa said, "I've missed your voice. I'm not really familiar with your face, but I've missed your voice."
Literally.
Which was really nice. I will say, Melissa's got a lot of superpowers as an actor, but one of them is she can very realistically portray those amorous feelings that she develops for that thing. I've said this a lot. My job's pretty easy, but I'm not looking in a mirror all day. I sort of forget what's on my face. But Melissa/Laura is believably falling for this thing, which is a pretty incredible feat.
I am one of those girls that when the Beast in Beauty and the Beast turns into a man, I went like, oh, like, please go back. So I think that this was kind of like a fantasy of mine.
This supposed to be a documentary? Well, clearly not. He's doing it all wrong. Strike down, not across. You're flailing, man. Hey, I was watching that.
Oh my God. Best movie ever made. Music, it always makes me want to cry. Nope.
Give me that.
Nope.
Give me the remote.
Caroline, how did this story come to be, and what was it like, or what was the most challenging part in bringing it to life?
Well, it's this movie was born from a real place, or loosely based on a real thing that happened to me. When I graduated from college, I was diagnosed with cancer. I was broken up with by my boyfriend at the time. And it was a moment where I really developed a relationship with my anger for the first time. And I was raised to be a very polite, good girl. And so that when this anger started to come out of me, I was like terrified of it and I was ashamed of it. But over the course of that period, I realized my anger is actually a tool to help me identify that something is not right in my life. And it can be, this thing that can get me off the ground and empower me and give me, strength and make me, push me forward in my life. So I started to fall in love with this side of myself. And I was like, this is like a love story. I fell in love with my monster. And I was like, that's a great idea for a story. And I wrote a script. I found out about this grant program through Women in Film. I applied for a grant and I got it. And then I had a proof of concept for the feature. And so that really helped. Then Kayla got involved and then Merman got involved and yeah, now we're here. So it was a long road, a long, painful road that has led to much joy and love. And so long journey of self-discovery.
Understand that, and I'm very glad that you're doing well, of course. And for you, Kayla, what drew you to the role of Maisie, and what was it like working with Caroline on this project?
Well, Maisie is a loud, brash woman, and I am too. So I was really excited to get to do that on camera without having to be aware of my volume. It was really fun. And when Caroline had, kind of told me about this role, I was like, well, she feels, despite, I don't want to spoil it, despite some stuff that happens, she feels very true to the two of us. We both kind of know girls like her. She's definitely in me. So I just felt really excited to jump into playing her. Working with Caroline was the greatest. She, protecting her story and protecting her felt so important to me in walking into an indie because of how close we are and how much I adore her and how much she had been through. It felt like, her intention was really to create something joyful. And that was always the goal, despite making an indie film, making us lose absolutely all of our hair throughout the process. But, also I think just getting to make a movie with your friend, that's just the thing I think we all want to be able to do. So despite the ups and downs, I just feel really lucky that I got to work with her on it.
And to wrap up, what are you excited for horror fans to experience with this film?
Oh man, good question. I want them to appreciate a new type of horror, a lighter horror. I'm a huge fan of spooky movies, and I think this falls under the spooky bracket. And as someone who sometimes gets a little bit wimpish when it comes to the most terrifying horror films, this one is for people who love the horror genre, just sometimes need something that's a little lighter. Because you know what, the horror genre is so fun and so many people want to participate in it, but sometimes people are too afraid. So this is a way to include more people and get our rom-com lovers in, get our horror lovers in, and say like, maybe we can all experience something together. And let's not exclude anyone. Let's enjoy spooky season as one big happy horror family.
Well, thank you both so much. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I love the film, and I can't wait for everyone to see it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and thank you to our sponsors and Patreon producers for making this video possible. Hit the subscribe button so the creepy fun never has to end. This is Hannah reminding you to keep it creepy.